Hey everyone, Damien Dudovic here from the Entertainment Network once more. So yeah, today we were looking at a 3 versus 3 on the Lutien map. So on the bottom left we have the Space Marines, the Orcs and the Necrons, and on the right we have the Space Marines, the Orcs and the Eldar. So a little bit of a mirror match. The only difference would be the Necron player here and the Eldar player here. So hopefully this game won't be too one-sided, but we'll have to see what happens. So just got the players trash talking each other in the chat by the looks of it. And yeah, we've got some interesting tactic by the Space Marines. They're going with 3 scout squads and an armory, so it looks like they'll be focusing on various upgrades for the scout marines, possibly things like sniper rifles and health upgrades, that sort of stuff. And for the Eldar, they're going for a fast seer right off the bat, so it's an interesting move by them. Usually you don't see Eldar building their commander units so soon, mostly because they're a bit they're a bit more of a support commander unit. So yeah, they act best, or rather they perform best in my opinion when they're grouped with other units. As with the Orcs, we've the same thing happening as well. They're putting down their big mech off the bat, and same for Space Marines. So Space Marines on the top right, that is, are putting down a Force Commander and Space Marine squad. As for the Necrons, got some early warriors coming up. A few of their builder units have built the Scarabs, and yeah, another warrior unit. And that's interesting. Looks like they changed their build order pretty quickly there, and yeah, they're building a Necron Lord as well. As for the Orcs, I think we're a bit late to see what their build order was, but from what I can see, they've gone with a couple of Slugger squads and the big mech as well, so pretty much mirroring what we're seeing here. So neither of the Orcs have gone for shooter squads or anything like that, so they'll mostly be going melee by looks of that, with the only significant ranged damage being done, which would be their big mech units. Speaking of which, we've got a bit of a battle happening between the Slugger boys and the big mechs actually, but yeah, it looks like the top right player has the advantage, as the bottom left player came in a little bit late with his big mech and actually lost a couple of Slugger squads. In fact, his Slugger unit sort of is actually down to 1, but they have managed to destroy the listing post. The big mech has taken quite a bit of damage though, and for some reason he's just staying in the fray, doing a bit of damage to the opposing squad, but top right Orcs do have the advantage though at the moment, so we're not seeing too much action from the Space Marines. They're going to, okay, so they're going to tier 1, or sorry, to tier 2. Looks like the armory was, yeah, just to help them get up to tier 2 rather than to research any upgrades for the Space Marines from what I can see. And yeah, in the middle we've got the Orcs being driven back, the bottom left Orcs being driven back by the top right Orcs. And as you can see, yeah, they're just getting a couple of pot shots on them as well. Necrons, we just see them grouping up. They're not contesting the left critical at all, which is kind of a shame really, because it doesn't look like as if the Space Marines have too much of a contingent there. Just a Force Commander, Space Marine squad and a couple of Scout Marines. Necron, 2 full squads of Necron Warriors, and a Necron Lord should be enough to more than enough to deal with that. But no, unfortunately they're just sitting back. Yeah, looks like we've got the Orcs coming back into the frame, this time on a bit more of a range stance. They got shooter boys and their big mech shooting their shooters, basically what they call them. Yeah. And yeah, just doing a bit of ranged damage as well. But yeah, unfortunately, Farseer has come into the fray and has actually proved to be quite useful. She sniped off that big mech in that squad with her Mind War ability, and yeah, just demolished the big mech, as you can see. As for the Space Marines, we're seeing some interesting moves by them. They only have a couple of plasma generators up, and yet they're going for the research that makes them produce more power, which is interesting. They don't seem to have any units up here though, so that would certainly explain why they're being a bit more conservative. But we're seeing the Eldar taking the right critical, which will mean ultimately more requisition for them. So yeah, in fact we're actually seeing all 3 critical points being taken, except for this middle one, which for some reason has been left alone. So yeah, the 2 criticals have been taken by the top right, the middle one is being held by the orcs in the bottom left. Looks like we've got the Eldar gathering up with the orcs, so maybe they might be looking to mount a bit of an assault on the orc base, or possibly the Necron base. A bit of scouting certainly would have helped them in this case, because if they looked at the Space Marine base, they would have actually seen that it was relatively defenseless, actually, so they could have probably done a better job assaulting them. From what I can see, they seem to be going for vehicles, which would certainly explain the power plants, more power plants actually, and the power plants upgrade. However, while they're slowly building up their vehicles, we are seeing a bit of an assault going on by both the top right orcs and the Elder player as well. So they've already destroyed one war banner, and while we're getting quite a bit of range damage going up by the shooter boys, they're getting into melee by the sluggers, but unfortunately it looks like their big mech has fallen as well, so they managed to do a bit of damage, quite a bit of damage if they managed to destroy system post, there we go. But yeah, they have lost one of their commander units, while the bottom left orcs still have their commander unit, which make it a bit, and is he at full health? Yes he is, so must have got a new one or something, must have died or something. Oh god, oh never mind. As you can see, they're also upgraded with big shooters, but they're getting chased by the slugger boys, and yeah, it looks like the big mech has already used up his teleport, so he won't be able to teleport again for a bit of a while though. So yeah, it looks like the Elder and top right orcs, or top right Elder and top right orcs, have managed to break through the, I suppose what you could say the first line of defense, or rather what you say is the first line of defense of the orc base. And so far we're just seeing a couple of land speeders coming down by the Space Marines, and they're going to tier 3 as well. Wow, you don't see that so often. Well, I'd say if the Space Marines were attacked from the beginning, they probably wouldn't be doing these things. Because yeah, going to tier 3 with nothing but a vehicle plant and an armory just, I don't know, just seems incredible. And the only vehicles they've produced so far were just the land speeders, and well, they're pretty nice for range support. They can only do so much, but yeah, it looks like they've managed to drive back the Elder and the Orkies on the top right from their points. But yeah, as you can see, they have suffered a bit of damage though. So those war banners, they provide tech level, or they increase the tech level for orcs, as well as acting as a there's well, it's interesting having to remember all this. You know, increasing the vehicle cap and the squad cap. That's what I've been trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't usually have to explain stuff like that. So it's well, that was good to explain what the hell's going on exactly. So Space Marines still going to tier 3. Sorry. Building a sacred artifact, and finally a barracks as well. So, and they've also got a massive surplus of points. Guessing probably have surplus of points on just about every other player's team as well. So, not entirely sure why. The similar thing happened on this map before. Well, rather when I commentated on this map before, we had almost a repeat happening of what we see here. We've got a few assaults by both sides, but we're just seeing, you know, like the Necrons here, we're mostly just seeing them stay put, really, for whatever reason. And yeah, we're just seeing loads of resources being unspent. But it looks like they might, at least the Space Marines might be spending some of those resources. They're getting a commander unit and a couple of upgrades as well. And they're sending through, not bad, they're sending through land speeders take care of the Elder infantry, but unfortunately they're getting sniped off by a war track. So war track's a pretty light vehicle, but its missile launcher can take care of things like land speeders pretty easily. And that's interesting. They're pressing forward into the Elder base actually, so we'll see if they can do any damage before they're forced back or possibly destroyed. But given the speed of these light vehicles and the Elder player, it doesn't look like they'll be able to even destroy these webway gates before they themselves get destroyed. So I'm not entirely sure if that was such a good harass. Although we've seen one retreat to the top right for whatever reason, so maybe they'll be either wanting to harass later or perhaps provide some sort of a vision for Space Marine drop ability. What do they call it? So it's basically where they get their orbital relay to drop dreadnoughts, and Space Marines and stuff like that. Basically, wherever they have vision. Pretty nasty ability actually. So that could be why they pressed forward the land speeders, and it might just work actually. They're in tier 3 already, and they already have an orbital command down. I can't quite see where though, but you can't build, oh there it is, you can't build Terminator squads without one, so it looks like they're building their first Dreadnought, which means they'll most likely be dropping him in the top right, while the Eldars are distracted by the Orcs, so actually doing a pretty good job. They managed to take down the listening post under fire by all those troops somehow, and yeah, to destroy that, or to uncapture that point, but yeah, unfortunately they lost all their forces as a result. But something tells me they've probably got quite a few resources to spare, they're just not spending them for whatever reason. I mean, it's one thing to get caught up in the heat of battle and not spend those resources, but the thing is that we've got players just sitting around, not doing much of their resources. It's not like as if they're being distracted or anything, but well, whatever. At least it's not as one-sided, I suppose, as some of the other games that I've been viewing. So should at least get some pretty big battles once their players decide to spend their points and actually start attacking. Though we're seeing some upgrades going down by the Space Marines, Inspiring Aura, Word of the Emperor, so that sort of stuff to make the Marines stronger and even invincible in that ability, Word of the Emperor. Got the first drop coming down, so it looks like it might be a couple of dreadnoughts, possibly. So just have a look. So yeah, the first one's a dreadnought, do a bit of damage to those war trucks, and the second one's also a second dreadnought. So if the Orc player doesn't move those war trucks, they're going to get destroyed pretty quickly. And there goes one, there goes the second one. So they managed to completely squash that Orc offensive. Really, all that's left for them now is just to mop up these infantry. So as you can see, they're doing a pretty good job in melee. So a very impressive unit actually, because Space Marines are usually ranged heavy, so to have something like a dreadnought at your disposal, especially to be able to drop it right on top of your enemy's head, is quite something actually. But Eldar have made their move though, and yeah, they have managed to destroy listening posts, but for whatever reason they're not moving their Falcon grav tanks. Okay, looks like yeah, they are jumping them out of the way. So unless the Space Marine produces some ranged units, they're not going to be able to do much more apart from chase these Falcon grav tanks, and they do quite a lot of damage, as you can see, destroying that. Okay, here we go, we've got some ranged anti-tank and anti-building units, just what we need for this sort of situation. So yeah, as you can see, these aircraft units here, can just follow these Falcon grav tanks pretty much wherever they go, and because they've all been upgraded with anti-infantry weapons, and because these Tempests have been upgraded with anti-vehicle missiles, as you can see, that allows them to completely decimate that that group of Falcon grav tanks with one even dying in mid-air. So pretty good effort by the Space Marines. It took a bit of a while for them to get going, and they could certainly get more troops up with their resources, but yeah, as you can see, that at the very least they know how to put their units to good use, at least when they're defending and attacking too, by the looks of it. They've got their elite squads in the mix, and they've also put down a orbital bombardment ability to do some damage to the Eldar base as well. So we got a bit of retaliation from the Eldar and the Space Marines and the Orcs as well, in terms of dreadnoughts and various other elite units such as the flash kits. But as you can see, the dreadnought's getting taken down. It's actually got stunned by the assault terminators, and we're seeing the Space Marines put down their wow, that's just incredible. They put down their Word of the Emperor ability, and they've decimated that flash kit squad. So that Word of the Emperor ability, that's what made them invincible temporarily. And yeah, the War Boss is out, but as you can see, he's going to get torn up pretty quickly, and he's down. Not bad. I kind of wish I had a sync kill for that, but so that was the Assault Space Marines, or rather the Assault Terminators, stunning him, as you can see, and basically destroying him in short order. There goes the Eldar vehicle base as well. It looks like we have a decisive battle here. unless if the other players do something about this, the loss of a whole base is really just going to